let's dive into something you probably use every single day, maybe without even thinking about it: the software on your Android phone. Because we're going to try and figure out why it seems to be having a little bit of an identity crisis. I mean, you've probably noticed this, right? You pick up a Samsung phone and then you pick up a Google Pixel or maybe a Xiaomi. They all say they run Android, but honestly, the look, the feel, it's all completely different. It's almost like they're from totally different planets. So today, we're going to explain exactly why that is and why it's a bigger deal now than ever before. So it all starts with what we can call the Android experience gap. You see, the basic Android operating system that comes from Google, well, that's the foundation for pretty much every non-Apple phone out there. But that foundation by itself doesn't really tell the whole story. For years, let's be honest, Apple's iOS has kind of set the gold standard for what a premium phone experience should feel like. It's smooth, it's simple, it's secure. Now, core Android is super powerful for sure, but it doesn't quite deliver that same wow factor right out of the box that people spending a lot of money on a phone have come to expect. And that right there, that's the experience gap that all these other phone makers feel like they have to fill. So what do you do if you're a manufacturer trying to fill that gap? Well, you build on top of what Google gives you, and that's exactly what led to the rise of these custom software layers, which we usually just call skins. So what in the world is a skin? Okay, here's a great way to think about it. Imagine core Android is the engine of a car. It provides all the horsepower and the raw functionality. The skin, though, that's everything else. It's the dashboard, the leather seats, the steering wheel, the sound system. It's everything you actually touch and see and interact with. It completely defines what it feels like to drive that phone. And you've definitely seen these out in the wild. I mean, Samsung has its super popular One UI, Xiaomi has HyperOS, Oppo has ColorOS, and the new one we're going to talk about, Vivo, has OriginOS. Each one of these is a totally unique vision for what an Android phone should be. But why go to all this trouble? You know, years ago, maybe some of it was about monetization, like pre-installing apps or something, but that's really not the game anymore. Today, it's all about creating an experience that's genuinely delightful. It's about making your phone feel different from all the other black rectangles out there, building a unique brand identity, and at the end of the day, creating happy customers who not only come back for their next phone, but might also buy your earbuds or your watch. And this whole strategy, it becomes absolutely essential when we start talking about the premium phone market. Because up here, the air is thin, the expectations are sky high, and the competition is just fierce. And here's the crucial thing to understand. When someone is spending top dollar on a flagship Android phone, their main point of comparison isn't just another Android phone. No way. The real benchmark, the one they're holding it up against, is the iPhone. A lot of these folks own both, and they expect a similar level of polish and performance. So what do these high-end users actually want? Well, they want a clean interface, nothing cluttered. They want to feel like they're in the driver's seat with deep control over how their phone looks and acts. They demand really strong privacy protections. And they want this weird kind of flexibility, the freedom to either keep things super simple, minimalist, or go totally wild and customize every last pixel. Core Android doesn't always nail all of this right away, and that's where these custom skins really shine. Which, brings us to a perfect and really timely case study. Let's take a look at the latest big company to make a huge move in this space, Vivo. Vivo just rolled out OriginOS, and it's going to be the face of their new flagship phones. And this isn't just some small update with new icons. This is a huge strategic play to compete head-to-head in that premium market we've been talking about. And hey, don't just take my word for it. A Vivo executive came right out and said that OriginOS is specifically designed to address the gaps between user expectations and Android's limitations. I mean, that's it right there. It's a direct shot at solving that experience gap we started with. So what does this all mean for the future of the phone in your pocket? Well, it means we're really moving into an era where the thinking has to be much more holistic. Look, the winning formula is no longer just about jamming in the fastest chip or the camera with the most megapixels. The entire industry is finally realizing that the real magic, the thing that makes you love your device, comes from the total package: powerful hardware and really thoughtful software working together in perfect harmony. Now, this whole trend puts brands that rely on a stock or pure version of Android, like Google's own Pixel phones, in a kind of tricky position.
Don't get me wrong, there's a real appeal to that simplicity, but they might struggle to offer that same level of deep customization, extra features, and granular control that premium users are now starting to demand from brands like Samsung and Vivo.
And that leaves us with a big final thought to chew on. For years, we've all been trained to judge phones by reading a spec sheet. How many gigabytes, how many gigahertz. But as the software increasingly defines our actual day-to-day experience, you have to ask yourself, is the best phone really just about the hardware anymore? It seems like that answer is getting more and more complicated every single day.